Day one, crab and ape. We're going to take you through the crab first. Notice how James is starting with his fingers pointing backwards, and he's going to lift up, and he's going to try and get this 90-degree position. So from here, James could actually lean forward slightly. So his shoulders are stacked now above his hands, and he can take his feet a little bit forward. Right, so that's the starting point that we're aiming to get. But we understand some of you are not going to have good mobility to begin with. So what you're most likely going to be in is how James is going to demonstrate now. So James, if you come down. And James knows, because he was like this when he started, and so was I. We lift up. You're probably going to get to somewhere, maybe here, where the hips are not even coming up, and this is your maximum. Another factor is wrist pain or elbow pain might kick in. If that's the case, turn your fingers sideways. It's a slight modification that may help take some pressure off the wrists. In time, this will open. So tightness in the pectoral muscles, biceps, even some of the abdominal muscles will prevent you from getting up to begin with. Once your wrists get used to being in the position and they're not aching as much, you can turn them backwards. Okay, so James is going to start walking down the room. He's trying to maintain that height. He's looking where he's going, walking nice and steadily. Notice there's a little bit of a lean side to side, rolling the shoulders back and come back, James. Actually turn around. Just come back in the same way you did. Now I'm going to make James turn his hands out sideways to show you that slight modification, and with the hips down a bit. So don't be too concerned if this is your lot to begin with. This is normal. It will get better. It may take months. And come down if James spins around. Okay, now we're going to go through the ape. So James is going to come, basically the beginning position is a full squat with the knees apart slightly. Some of us, if we have poor ankle mobility, we've had ankle fractures or a history of sprains, this is also going to be very awkward. You may find that your heels are up off the floor. You simply can't get the heels down because you roll backwards. James is good here. Notice James has a slight roundness in the back. He's still got some lengthening out to do in the low back, but it's not an issue. He can hold it here. He's going to make fists, thumbs on the outside, and he's putting about 20% of his body weight, maybe 30, through his hands. That helps take some pressure off the hips and knees to begin with. He's simply going to step forward and walk nice and smooth, fluid motion. Notice how James is able to get his feet in front of his hands. Okay, stop there, James, spin round. If that's not the case to begin with, if James's mobility was poorer to begin with because of tight flexibility in the hips and hamstrings and adductors, maybe James's hands are further in front, and as he's walking, he's slightly on his toes, so his bum is up higher, or his butt, okay? So this might be what some of you are finding, and spin around. Again, if that's the case, don't be too overly concerned. It's just highlighting areas that you need to work on.